Hi, good afternoon, everybody. It's Stacy with the Shaman Veld. I really felt compelled today to jump on the microphone to kind of bring everyone up to speed. If you haven't been trying to keep up with the, again, flurry of demonic actions that is happening right now in our country, imposed by our government, some important things. We know that there's been a lot of freezing and misgiving information about inappropriate use of funds and stuff like that from Elon Musk and his Doge, I call it doggy, the doggy department that is making up numbers. Of course, that's been proven to tell the American people that, hey, we're finding all this fraud when really I think they're more just taking money from Americans or planning to. That aside, on March 7th, there was a closed door meeting with the Senate Republicans and Elon Musk to talk about these impoundments or these freezes of monies that have not been going out as allocated by Congress before to different departments, to different organizations. Most of it is just trapped in the bigoted anti-DEI movement. Anything that has anything to do with people who are not rich and white, you're going to have your money slashed. So included in this meeting was Mitch McConnell, John Thune, JD Vance, of course, Mr. Eyeliner himself, Mark Wayne Mullen, Lindsey Graham, and the ultra budget slasher Rand Paul. Now, that's who we know attended that meeting. There were many, many more. But why this closed door meeting was so important, and thank you to those news outlets that aren't giving a damn right now, aren't feeling the pressure or not giving a shit about the pressure they're getting from the president about, losing their ability to provide news, told us about this meeting. And apparently, they are working, Republican senators are working with Musk to stop all of these judgments against these freezes, these unlawful, immoral freezes of money that has already been declared and was distributing properly before them to necessary agencies. These senators want to help them in this process. And they said, what you're doing right now by taking impoundments and freezes, that language is going to go nowhere. You need us to help you get what you want to get done. So all these town hall meetings that people, Republicans, Democrats, unaffiliated, just Americans alike have been angry and shouting at these people. I'll let you know, they're letting it go in one ear, out the other. So you need to be louder and you need to be more convincing. And I know it's exhausting. We've been having this exhausting fight ever since I think Trump's birth. Who knows? Anyway, what they're recommending to Musk and to Trump is bring it to us. Bring it to us. We control the House and the Senate, and we can do something about that. We can get this passed. So what they want to do is use what they call the rescissions process, and with rescissions, use reconciliation through Congress approve all of these freezes and stop this money from going out to the needed agencies that the judges have rightfully put a stop to. They said, Congress has the purse. Let us help you. So they want to do the rescissions process through Congress. So, Dougie, you're missing the mark here. You need to use us. We need to be a part of this process. Also, they want to use the reconciliation process to pass their approval of all these slashes through the rescission process. So what that means is you don't have to have 2/3 majority. Since they hold power in both houses, all they need to do is have a majority vote, a 51-person vote to make this happen. So they don't need any Democrats to participate in this. So they're saying, hey, don't take it upon yourself. Let us be of support to you. And if I haven't seen ass kissing before, this is just disgusting. These are people that are screwing over their own constituents to look good in the eyes of Musk and Trump. But I digress. So there is one thing that's standing in their way. It is the 1974 budget law that restricts a president's ability to impound or freeze appropriate funds. So they also proposed to repeal that law. That law came about in the Nixon era, the no to type of guy that we have a type of guy right now that's saying the same damn thing, I'm not a crook, while he is lining his pockets and his bank accounts. They want to rescind that as well. They're worried that that will hold up Trump's agenda through these freezes and stuff, is that he's violating the law through the 1974 uh, provision of the budget law that was designed to hold Nixon back, because who was doing the same thing. So right now, we have a president who has been breaking the law with all of these. Okay, now he's saying it's me, not Musk. Musk doesn't have any power, but we see Musk issuing all of these reprimands, right? Freezing all of this money because they're lazy people, firing all these employees because they're just lazy people. But they get rid of this law, then they can proceed with what they're doing. But the law is in the way, right? Nobody has talked about it except for behind closed doors here with the Senate saying, hey, there's something that you need to be aware of. We're here to warn you, this could come up. So to avoid that, Republican senators are all in and helping however they can to fuck the American people out of their Social Security. That's coming. Don't think it's not. Don't believe a word they say. Out of their Social Security, people out of their health care, research out of children's cancer, anything that is worth anything in humanity, they want to gut and destroy. So I wanted you to know that there's these closed doors talks that this is going to happen. And Musk reportedly threw his arms up and like, where have you been all my life? Right? Why am I doing it this way when you could have been helping me this whole time? So in that vein, I think we can expect more news about this, but I wanted to let you know that there is talk about this. Also, right now, we are looking at a budget that's going to be coming up here with Speaker of the House. You know who I'm talking about, Johnson, right? So they want to do a stopgap funding bill because the deadline's looming. No one's going to get paid. Go figure, right? What's new? Federal employees won't get paid, at least what's left of them, and they're going to shut down. There's a shutdown looming here coming very closely. So they don't have the votes right now to pass that beautiful bill that Trump loves. So they're looking at a 6-month stopgap to make that happen. And it's a really screwy idea, people. Democrats, they've been talking about whether to support this. I'm saying, damn you if you do. Do not help them. Do not support them. This bill is a piece of shit. Okay. They say we're not going to add any, there's no pork in it. There's no additional monies coming in, to support this. But what they don't say is that it still allows for what's happening to be happening, to give carte blanche control to Musk and to Trump. There's no wording in there that would regulate what they can do. It's status quo as far as they're concerned. So it would be just funding the damage that's already been done and more to come. And that's pretty much it. And of course, they want to use reconciliation to get this passed. 51 votes versus having a 2/3. This won't be a true budget because they can't get there, but it's a funding to say, hey, in the meantime, we're going to fund the American people, right? The American people until September. But we all know that's not happening. They're not supporting the American people whatsoever. Another sleight of hand that's coming from Johnson, who is so far up Trump's ass. He could be DEI Brown, but Democrats, call your people. Say, do not support this. Of course, they're not going to need you, but you need to be loud. Get out of your seats and be loud and tell people about what is in this so-called stopgap measure, because there's nothing in there that supports the American people. We're still forging ahead with a demagogue president, turning us into an oligarchy, plutocracy, giving control over to rich people so that we are just a mere image of his man love Putin. that country. I have never heard Americans say, hey, let's try that out. Apparently, those so in love with the Trump administration are willing to throw away their heritages and their futures, their families' futures, to just do whatever he says. I don't care. I mean, I need to research whatever he says. I believe it's going to be good for the country. Well, it's not. And it's going to screw yourself over. So those people are lost. But people who feel it, people who understand it, we all, whether you're any political affiliation or not, whether you don't like politics, we need to stand up because this affects all Americans. So stop this stopgap. Talk to your representatives, your senators. Some of you will feel like you're on deaf ears. I know Ghosting Gabe, he is nothing but a Trump puppet. So yeah, he's not even around for you to complain to him, but we'll get to him somehow. So just be on alert, read everything you can about this stopgap measure because it does nothing good for the American people. It just continues for 6 months until they can get everybody threatened enough and in line on the Republican side to say, hey, yeah, we're going to pass this as a final budget because I've been threatened with my job and perhaps my life and life of my wife, my family, who knows, or maybe they're just gullible idiots and they think that Trump will have a need for Congress when he's already acting like he doesn't. That's the thing. I don't understand these Congress people, in either house because he's acting like he doesn't need them means that he thinks he doesn't need them. So the way he's changing our country so drastically right now, believe me, it's not a smear of the imagination to think it's not far off to think that we may not need a Congress, right? Why do we need representatives? Trump wants to be the decision maker of everything. He wants to be king. He wants to be, the glorious end all be all. Yeah. You guys aren't looking too far into the future, are you? Yeah. You're just up his ass to put yourselves out of a job. Like the rest of us, he put us out of a job, federal. Yeah. And don't believe it when the senators tell you that it's Democrats' fault if this shutdown occurs. Democrats need to be fighting for the people and let the shutdown happen because they're fighting for the people. It's the Republicans that are in Congress, in the Senate right now, that are fighting against the people to get this stupid measure passed because it has nothing to do with helping the average Americans. Thank you for listening. I'll be back soon because there's always something going on and some important information to let you know. Have a good day.